Thank you, Phyllis. Good morning. My name is Jonna Capio, and I will be your service leader today. Welcome to Unity of Bloomington. At Unity, we offer practical spiritual teachings that empower abundant and meaningful living. We are a center for spiritual growth, and we provide inspiration, tools, and practices that support people on their path of spiritual growth. Please stand and join us in combining our voices in joyful song. So please remain standing and join me in affirming our statement of being. Together, there is only one presence and one power in the universe, God the good, omnipotent. This power expresses life, love, wisdom, and abundance through me. In it, I live and move and have my being. Please be seated. One way we empower abundant and meaningful living is by practicing and living our 5 basic principles. I will state the principle and invite you to respond with affirmation. The first is, God is good, absolute good, and everywhere present. God is. We have a spark of divinity within us, the Christ Spirit within. Our very essence is of God, and therefore we are also inherently good. I am. We create our experience of life by the activity of our thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in our thought. I create. Prayer is creative thinking that heightens the connection with God-mind and therefore brings forth wisdom, wholeness, prosperity, and everything good. I pray. Through thought, words, and action, we live in the truth we know. I live. All right, so now I will invite Dev to Kid up for the children's moment.
Thanks, Jana. So this is going to be for the inner children today, since we don't have any present in the congregation. I hope everyone had a really nice Christmas. This time of year after Christmas, we come into our reflective time, where we're looking back on the year that has just happened, which seems to kind of blend with the year that happened before it. And we look forward to the new year, and what we typically do is a New Year's resolution. So raise your hand if you've ever made a New Year's resolution. And how many of those resolutions have stuck? Right. I've got a maybe from Andy there in the back. So the research shows that 80% of New Year's resolutions don't stick. And I come from the world of process improvement, and if you have a process that's failing 80% of the time, it's time for you to take another look at that process. So there are a couple other things that we can do, and one of them is to look at this process of removal or subtraction and of letting go. So all of the songs that we've been singing kind of leading up to this moment are about letting go. And there's a story that's loosely based on a Buddhist proverb, and it goes like this. There's a young man who went on a fishing expedition, so big boat, and they go out into the middle of the sea. It takes them a couple of days to get out there, and wouldn't you know it, once they get out in the middle of everything, there's a leak in the boat. The boat is going to sink. And so the young man gets on one of the smaller lifeboats and begins to row towards land, the direction of land. And it takes him a little longer than what he thought it was going to. It's a lot of effort, and so this little boat is his home. It becomes his bed. It becomes his friend. It becomes everything. This little boat has saved his life, and so he's got a lot of connection to this boat. And one day, when he's asleep in the boat, he feels a thunk as the boat hits land, finally. And he's overjoyed. He's hit land. This is his goal. This is what he's been rowing towards. And he looks out and he can see the city and people and houses and shops. And he just can't wait to get out of the boat. So he hops out of the boat. He ties a rope, one end to the boat, one end to his waist, and he makes his way up the shore. There's a path at the end of the shore that leads into the city, and he just keeps on walking and keeps on walking, and the sand gets deeper and deeper, and he keeps walking. And it's tiring. It's a little boat, but it's still big, and it's heavy, and it's hard. And so every now and then he has to stop and rest. And there's a woman, a very wise and kind woman, who's watching all of this kind of unfold. And she makes her way down to the young man, and she says, that's a nice boat you have there. And he said, yes. Boy, this boat saved my life. It's my everything. I'm really, really grateful to this boat. And she said, yeah, I can't help but notice that it's kind of big and heavy, and it looks like you're having a hard time moving it across the sand. And he said, yeah, it's not easy. And she said, are you going into town? And he said, yeah, I'm looking forward to, I've been at sea for a while, and I'm looking forward to being on dry land and, kind of getting into a rhythm again. And she said, what are you going to do with that boat when you get into the city? And the young man says, well, what do you mean? This is my boat. This is my everything. And she said, yeah, but it's a city. They have streets. It's not water. And if you want to go into a store, the doorway's kind of narrow. Your boat's not going to be able to get through. So what would you do if you were that young man? At what point would you need to cut that rope? Just because a boat has served you up to a point, does it make sense anymore once you're on land? So that's what we're going to be exploring here today. We'll have a meditation, we'll have an opportunity for whatever those things are in the past year, or maybe in our life so far. Maybe there's some things that have served us well. It could be a way that we're being in relationship. It could be a mindset that we have about approaching one thing or another. It could be a thing. It could be a boat. It could be a security blanket of sorts. It could be something to let go. And we as adults will put those things into the fire, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But Zara has put together a lesson for the children that was mailed out to them with a different kind that's a little bit safer for our kiddos. It's water that dissolves in paper, or paper that dissolves in water. The two dissolve one another. And so our kiddos have an opportunity to also go into a quiet space and see if there's anything that emerges. Some of the things that Zara talked about in the lesson were, maybe you're the kiddo in the classroom that talks a lot or talks really loudly. And this is an opportunity for you to think about that and examine, is that still serving me? Is that still serving the class? And maybe that's what you write on your piece of paper. And when you put it into the water, it will dissolve. This one is kind of staying together because I don't have anything to kind of circulate it. But yeah, it just eventually dissolves and floats away, just like the little boy's boat could. So let's sing our Christ children, our inner child, with O Come All Ye Children.
For that. So this year, 2021, the annual theme here at Unity has been how to stay centered no matter what. And each month we explore the role that one of the 12 powers plays in staying centered and experiencing inner peace no matter what is occurring around us. This month we are exploring the power of life. So God is life, the power of energy, animation, force, and intelligence that enriches every aspect of being. Divine life, God life, is an endless flow, a limitless source of energy and vitality that fills our body, mind, and spirit. It is our true state of being, undimmed by any outer circumstances. Divine life actually begins in the mind with our own thoughts, assumptions, and beliefs, and it radiates outward to our physical body and outer environment. By the power of life, we are energized and renewed to flourish and grow. Here and now, we are joined together with the infinite flow of eternal life. Please join me in saying this month's affirmation together. Life is the infinite endowment of God, and eternal life is happening now. I have a couple of announcements. So next Sunday is Unity's White Stone Service, and that is Sunday, January 2nd. You want to join us on the first Sunday of 2022 for our White Stone Service. What a better way to start the new year than to set our intentions of experience and expressions for ourselves in 2022. And then, embrace your unlimited good, our Unity of Bloomington 2022 yearly theme. So, embrace your unlimited good. We're excited to invite you to join us in our yearly theme for 2022. And each month in this next year, we will explore experiencing and expressing our unlimited good in all areas of our lives. Join in on the adventure as we explore the manifestation of our dreams, cultivating our health, navigating change gracefully, and embracing gratitude. So now for today's daily word. So the word for today is release. And today the affirmation is, I release the old and embrace the new. And we're actually reading the daily word for Tuesday, December 28th, for today's message. I release the old and embrace the new. As I think of new beginnings, challenges I'd like to take on, or fresh endeavors I wish to try, I remember that releasing the old makes way for the new. I may feel called to clear out my physical space. If something I own has outlasted its utility, releasing it puts it back in circulation and gives me ample space to welcome the new. Sometimes the spiritual housekeeping is also in order. I release thoughts, beliefs, and actions that no longer serve me. I open a space within my mind for new understanding and in my heart for divine inspiration. With a fresh outlook, I'm able to discern my spiritual guidance. Releasing the past is the first step toward creating the perfect future. So from Matthew 18:18, truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Now we'll join together in speaking this affirmation aloud. Together, I release the old and embrace the new. And now repeat it to yourself silently. I release the old and embrace the new. So today, our speaker is Dave Kid, and our musical inspiration will be provided by our Unity music team.
Thank you so much, Jonna. I just wanted to take a moment to introduce Dave to our community. One of the things that we have been doing this past year is releasing our attachment to how gathering occurs. And we know, because I've been in contact with several people already online on my phone, that we have a wonderful, varied, and rich community that is with us now virtually. So sometimes we get so attached, and actually I'm giving away my word. What I've been meditating on today is my attachment to how things have been done in the past, where I would come to my community on a Sunday morning and see people in person, whereas now there's so many other ways that we can come together in person and also virtually. So to all those out there virtually, we do want you to know that we consider you part of our spiritual community, and you're very precious to us, and we're very grateful. I had the pleasure of meeting Davta, I don't really want to say how many years ago, but we've been hanging around Unity circles for around the same amount of time. And I actually babysitted her son, Luke, when he was a young fella. And I really don't want to tell you how old he is now. But granted to say, he is in college. So I'm very happy that we have in our community such a wide breadth and depth of experience. And Davta brings her own unique interpretation of unity as viewed through a more, can I say Buddhist experience? Does that sound accurate, I guess? So I love that we can all bring our embedded spiritual traditions with us, and also some of the traditions that we've picked up as we've grown. So at this time, I would like to invite Davta to lead us in this transformational journey of identifying that which is no longer serving us and putting that boat somewhere. So please help me welcome Davta Kidd.
Hello. It is such an honor to get to be with all of you in a different capacity. I'm so grateful to Jana for being service leader today. The service leader kind of creates the container that we all get to kind of play and move within. So thank you for your work there. Her husband has been graciously giving out the pieces of paper that we're going to be writing on. We have our media team in the back, Andy and Seb, who have been enabling us to be online and out in the ethers. Zara, of course, working with our children virtually. Phyllis and Penny and Ginger, all contributing this wonderful music that we have. We really are blessed, and it does take a village. We are small and mighty. And I'm so, so grateful to all of you. And I really look forward every year to both the Burning Bowl and the White Stone ceremonies. It's not anything that I grew up with, but I definitely resonate with it. And in the service that we had the night before last, our candlelight service, if you weren't able to attend, you can still watch it online. I know that it translates because there was just so much love and presence here that night. And I could feel myself. I was already starting that process of lifting up into that space of hope and being able, in order to elevate, in order to lift up, I have to let go of some of that weight, some of that stuff. And I didn't have words for it that night, but I did feel buoyed. I did feel lighter. And that's my hope for everyone leaving any service, but definitely this service. I hope that you leave here, whether you're watching it online or in person, I hope you leave here feeling lighter and more hopeful and maybe more capable of creating that world that you want to live in. And when I was when I was thinking about this topic, this has been a couple of months ago that Lynn and Ginger said, hey, might you be interested in this? And we at Unity love our synchronicities, don't we? So I was talking with a friend of mine who had been struggling with depression for some time, and this friend had engaged in some talk therapy, and it was working to an extent, but it had come to that point in therapy where the therapist said, I think you might be helped by having some medication. And my friend is very health conscious and very into alternative therapies and was not really interested in doing that, at least not immediately. Wanted to take some time to think about it, because it's kind of scary to think about taking something that changes your brain. And in full transparency, I am not anti-pharma. I have depression myself, and I take medication for it, so this isn't about that. This is about the process that my friend went through. Sometimes, when we put a decision off and we give ourselves some space, then we're creating a fertile ground for something else to emerge, a knowing or a definitive knowing, one way or the other. And in the space that my friend had, they decided to kind of examine some of their other behaviors. And one of the behaviors that showed itself to them was that they engaged in alcohol a little bit more than was healthy for them. And again, full transparency, this is not anti-alcohol. I love my cocktails. But for my friend, this was not a healthy way of being. And they became curious. And that is the magic that can happen if you allow it, if you give it space. This curiosity welled up within them, and they thought, well, I wonder, alcohol is a depressant, and if I'm wanting to not be depressed, maybe I don't need to add an antidepressant. Maybe I need to subtract the thing that's depressing? I mean, when you say it out loud, it kind of, it makes sense, but that's not an intuitive leap that we often make, right? I mean, when you're baking a cake or you're making a sauce, you don't taste it and go, what could this do without, right? You think, what more does this need? And in sauces and cakes, you have to do a complete do-over, but in life, we don't have to do that, right? So that's the journey, and that's where this idea of the power of subtraction, is there something that it's time to let go of? Is there something that without it, things might be lighter, better, different, stronger? I would be able to create a little bit more. So that's what we're going to be exploring here today. And for those of you, raise your hand if you've gone through a burning bowl process before. Okay, so almost everybody. So this is what our process will be. I will guide us all in a meditation, and you'll have an opportunity to sit in the silence and allow something to emerge. And then you will write on a piece of paper that you have with you and offer it to the flame that will be up here. And we'll be blessed by some music during that time, also during the meditation and also as you're approaching the bowl. And then we'll continue with the rest of our service. So most of this service is going to be a meditation, which is my jam. I love being given the opportunity to be guided in a meditation and be able to sit in the silence, because sometimes I'm not as disciplined in that as I would like to be. And so also to be able to do it in community is also really, really special. So Jonna, would you light this up and I'll show the people at home what it looks like. It's not as easy as it looks, is it? There you go. So as she's lighting that, I'll tell you, when you are in the silence and allowing something to emerge, there are two things that I'd like for you to consider. One is I invite you to not use your brain to identify whatever comes up. And okay, so how do I know that it's my brain and not the core of my being that's bringing up this thing for release? The brain will tell you things like, well, I should do this, or I should maybe not do this. See, it does take a village. So let's say your brain says, well, I should exercise more. Well, then your brain has to come in and help you translate. Okay, if I'm exercising more, what am I giving up? What am I releasing? So if you find your brain engaging in a translation process, then let it go. Release again. You may have to go through several cycles of this. Release again and again and again until something floats up, until something emerges. And the second thing that I'd like for you to consider is, well, what if nothing comes up? What if it's blank? Well, I invite you to leave the paper blank and bring it to the flame and let it burn anyway as a gesture of a symbol that you are still open to the possibility of releasing something that needs to be released. Does that make sense to everyone? Okay, so this is what it will look like here, and you'll see this again and again as people offer theirs up. You can probably just see a little burst go up there, but there's nothing there anymore. It is completely 100% gone to our eye. I don't know where it really went, but to our eye, we can't see that anymore. It is gone. So as you offer your paper to the flame when it's time, then really realize, oh my gosh, I actually can let go of whatever it is that came up. So now Phyllis is going to give us some music, I'll lead us in meditation, and then at the end of it, I will cue you when it's time to come up and release into the flame, okay? Let's all take a deep breath in. Inhale deeply. And exhale. Let's do that a couple more times. Inhale deeply. And exhale. One more time. Inhale deeply. And as you exhale, allow your chair, your couch, your bed, whatever you're sitting or lying on, allow it to receive the weight of your body. Close your eyes if that feels comfortable to you. And let's go on a journey. Imagine that you're standing in a field. You're at the base of a hill. And as you breathe in, you can sense pine and honeysuckle, lavender, As you walk toward the base of the hill, you're aware of the backpack that you're carrying. Your backpack has everything that you thought that you would need for this trip. You can feel the straps weighing into your shoulders. And maybe every now and then you shift to adjust the weight of the backpack. You're able to walk and walk fairly easily. And when you come to the base of the hill, you see a small bench. The hill isn't very steep, but you've heard that it's got a really nice view. But still, you're a little tired of carrying your backpack. And so you slip it off one shoulder, and then the next. And you let your backpack lay on the bench. You can still kind of feel the weight of the backpack, like the ghost of the weight of the backpack. But you feel lighter. And so you decide to go up the hill. And as you look around, you see the trees changing. And you're finding that you're looking not straight ahead and not down, but you're starting to look forward and up. You're seeing the animals playing in the branches and the birds. And finally, you reach the top of the hill. On the top, you look out over the valley. You can see a river below, but you see the clouds and the sun. And you somehow feel fed and free. And you breathe. Allowing your shoulders to just drop on your exhale. You stay for a while until the sun begins to set and you make your way back down the hill. Still feeling that lightness of being, you come upon the bench where your backpack is still laying. Think about how you're feeling now as you look at that backpack and think about putting it back on. You've got a couple of choices. You could put the backpack back on and make your way You could take some things out of the backpack. Or you could just leave it there. And as you inhale, begin begin that process of thinking, of reviewing, of allowing to emerge those things in your metaphorical backpack. And as we go into the silence, give yourself the space to allow what needs to emerge to emerge. If it has a name, then write it down on your piece of paper. And I will cue you when it's time to come forward and offer your paper to the flame. And now let us go into the silence. I'd like to invite Ginger up to sing Change the World. And when you feel ready, please come forward and offer your paper to the flame.
Take a thought, hold it there. Change the picture in your mind. Keep the thought where you left it. Take a step to lead you there, to the dream you wait to find. Be the first to believe it. Stuck in a life you don't want, leave the past behind. Change your thoughts and you change the world. Shine the light that you find to shine your truth. Turn the key to unlock the door. Every day now, you'll find a way how to find what you're living for. Take a chance, take a stand, take your life into your hands. Follow the passion inside you. Keep the right, lose the wrong. Keep the vision burning strong. Future where dreams come true. Stuck in a life you no longer want, you leave it all behind. And every day now you'll find a way how to find what you're living for. It's a new day, come face to face. Sometimes the world seems so unfair, but it's a heartbreak when you can't find your way. Deep in your heart there's the power, the healing is stuck in a life you don't want, leave it all behind. Change your thoughts and you change the world. Shine the light that you find, just shine your truth. Turn the key to unlock the door. And every day now you'll find a way how to find what you're living for. Change your thoughts and you change the world. Shine the light that you find and shine your truth. Turn the key to unlock the door. And every day now you'll find a way how to find what you're living for. Change your thoughts and you change the world.
Thank you, Ginger. Thank you. Thank you, Dave, for giving us that opportunity. Lovely lead. Thank you. So now we turn to the spiritual practice of generosity. We are grateful for the many ways this center supports us in our spiritual growth. And we, in turn, are happy to support this center with our financial contributions and our voluntary service. We are also grateful to those who have already put in place automatic weekly, monthly, or quarterly giving. Today, if you feel led, please visit our website at unityofbloomington.org and click the giving link. And if you brought a tithe or a love offering with you this morning, we invite you to place it in the singing bowl at the back of the chapel on your way out after the service. The singing bowl is also where you can leave your prayer requests. You will find the prayer request card in the pocket of the seat that's in front of you. So now, please join me in speaking aloud our abundance affirmation. Together, I am an abundant being, living in an abundant universe. God is the source of my supply. I am not dependent on people or situations for my good. God is the source of my supply. I always have something to give, and I consistently give it. I expect the best, I give my best, and I now attract the best in every experience.
Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine your light. You know the time is right. You gotta go out and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Step and shine your light. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine. Go out and shine.
And so now we bless our abundance with these words together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I would like to invite you now to please stand and join with me in saying our closing prayer together. Together, we are here to glow as the light of God. We are the light of God. We are here to embrace as the love of God. We are the love of God. We are here to stand in truth as the power of God. We are the power of God. We are here to radiate as the presence of God. We are the presence of God. Where we are, God is, and all is well. In gratitude for our radiant health, please remain in place and join in singing together, "Let There Be Peace on Earth." Thank you.
Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you, Jonna. Thank you,
Thank
Seb,
you.
and thank you,
Thank you.
Andy. Thank you, everyone.